The second assignment of the Level 3 Year 2 Extended Diploma in Creative Media Production concerns character design and will cover all of the Unit 9 criteria. You will work individually to create a visual representation of an original character. The character you create will be presented in an appropriate application, so it might be using Photoshop or Lightroom, 3ds Max, Premiere, InDesign, whatever is appropriate and agreed with alongside your teacher, using an appropriate application, whether it be using Unreal, whether it be using Procreate on an iPad. Liaise and talk to your teacher. You're going to create this character and display this character using at least 3 views of the character, front, side, and back, and then at least an additional further 3 poses, action poses that can help to communicate something about the psychology, the narrative, the will of this character you have created. Communicating their story to the audience is what we're looking for. Your original character will be captured in at least 6 shots there that communicate their story. 4 weeks for this project. 4:30 on the 25th of November is the deadline. And there are, of course, interim, that is, checks on learning milestones en route to this final summative assessment on the 25th. Summative basically means the final grade, as it were, for this unit. These milestone tasks are as follows. But we'll go through those one by one, shall we? This submission checklist was quite handy with the last projects. I'm going to keep doing that through Year 2. As I mentioned, it's going to cover Unit 9. There are 3 outcomes, broadly speaking, we're going to be ensuring you learn about and demonstrate competence within. That is understanding the characteristics and the context, the history, the time, the place, the background for a chosen media and communication activity. You're going to be able to use knowledge of the characteristics and context of a media and communication activity, and you're going to be able to use evaluation, again that constant reflective approach, something we are ingraining in you through your process to support this creative media production of the character design. Let's have a look at the first of the milestones, which will be, suitably enough, a proposal. Your final extended major project starting March 2023 will ask you to create a proposal. We are getting you match fit and ready for this. By doing the proposal, you are looking at context, this grading criteria that UAL and we ourselves at BCOT understand and appreciate as being fundamental to great work. The history, the time, the place, the origins, the why. So task 1, proposal. You're going to analyse the requirements of the brief and submit a project proposal. When you click on the hyperlink here, you'll see I've created a template of the proposal document for you. This will have your initial idea, and it will begin to clearly define the rationale, the reasoning, the why your project is viable, appropriate, correct, in alignment with the brief. Your proposal is the first part of the assignment and will come in at around about 500 words. That's just under a page. We're looking to include here your action plan and a bibliography as well. We're going to help you with that in lessons, letting us know the sources and where you extracted inspiration from. This will cover the 1.1 criteria, and I've put here, as you can see, the criteria from UAL, from their grading matrix, to let you know what we're looking for. That's a constant through this year, as I'm sure you're noticing, that UAL grading matrix. Second task, research statements. So, you're going to define your research areas. that you're going to drill down into. And then you're going to create 2 clear research statements. One that focuses on the production aspects of the task. So, what software you're using, what hardware, and why you're making those choices. What is needed in order to help you create this character design. And another research statement that outlines the more creative aspects of your project. And this is going to focus more on the how you're going to create it, what process you're going to go through. Are you going to be using a mixture of analog and digital methods? Are you going to be researching, reading, discovering, listening, watching around the context of your subject to help enrich the actual creative process? 2 statements then. One focusing on the production, one focusing on the creative. These 2 statements will help you hit the 1.2 criteria for Unit 9. And it's important they're carefully phrased. Look back over them time and time again to ensure they are clear, they are succinct, they answer the question. This will help you to hit 1.2, that is interpreting research activity to develop ideas. The research criteria is here for you to have a look at. This is how we are assessing you through the year, and particularly with the final extended major project. Constantly look at this UAL grading matrix. That's literally it. That's how we assess you. Task 3 of 7, research and ideation. So, conducting research, selecting sources that are relevant to your project. Here you're going to be asking questions such as, what does your selection represent and how do people look at it? So what I mean by that is you're going to be asking questions that are appropriate for your project. You're going to outline why your selected item, what you're choosing to do, is relevant to your project and what it is exactly you will draw from it. So why are you looking at the things you're looking at? Why are you looking at that graphic novel? Why are you looking at that animation? Why are you looking at that series of photographs? Why are you looking at that scene from that documentary? Why are you looking at that newspaper article and the way the character was described at that particular moment in the narrative? Why is the selected item you're looking at and researching relevant to your project? Justify. Tell us what you're drawing from it. In your Google Slides, we're looking for you to have a range of sources and telling us what you've taken from these sources. This will help you to generate your own concepts. Again, going back to Austin Kleon's wonderful book, Steal Like an Artist, it's crucial that you embrace this approach of the creative. That is, consuming, extracting, distilling into your own unique alchemy, your creative ideas. Document all the ideas you generate and the production experimentation, the practice runs, the doodles, the sketches. Include all your notes, all your sketches, all writing, handwritten or digital. Mood boards or reference images can be included here because you're ideating at this point. You're coming up with different ways of thinking about the project. As rough as they are, include them. Any links to inspiration. Videos. Embedded, please. Insert video in the Google Slides. Anything that's appropriate for your project. A variety of ideas needs to be explored, not just one thing. If you look at just one thing that is obvious and on the nose and just too simple, then your idea will just be a reduced version of that. You need to extract many different domains to build into your own creative work, something with your own fingerprints on, something only you can create with your ability to research and build. So, for this, your deliverable will be a Google Slides presentation that will summarise the project requirements, show us your research and what you extracted from it, and justifying how this is going to inform your project. In this Google Slides presentation, we also want you to present all your sketches, mood boards, ideas, inspirations, and research sources. This will also help you hit the 1.2 criteria here, interpreting research activity to develop ideas. Research is a big part of this. Task 4 of 7. For pre-production, you're going to communicate your vision. So, at this point we've done our proposal, done our research statements, we've done our research and ideation, so we know what we are creating. So, communicate your vision from your mind to that of the audience. Your best idea should be visualized for you to engage in further developments. So the contents of your pre-production folder will vary dependent on what you're creating, of course. A photographer will create something very different to somebody creating in 3ds Max or Unreal a character. Somebody working in video will create something very different to somebody working in animation in terms of your planning, your pre-production. Although there will be constants across whatever media you choose to create within. We need you to show your concepts and the ability to plan something that's consistent regardless of the media you are building within. Organising, again, pretty consistent across any media you wish to create in, the ability to organise. Presenting your work. Now, presenting your work might be different dependent on your different choice of media. Storyboards, photographs, behind the scenes video, or screenshots or screencasts. Dependent on your choice of media, the planning will inform that. We need you to demonstrate that you have applied your research to the project. We don't just do the research and forget about it. No. It informs, enriches, and evolves the work. So, here you're going to do a presentation that visualizes your concept and your plans, really distilling your idea. This will hit 2.1 for Unit 9, which is using the knowledge of characteristics and context to help you plan and develop your solution, your character design. Looking for problem solving here. Distinction level problem solvers will be decisive, show initiative, be autonomous and independent, and adapt. That's why we're going about these things all the time. Being adaptive, being resilient, being a problem solver. That's where the good grades lie. Task 5, display boards. So you're going to prepare and present your research, your ideas and your planning for public display at this point. Using an A1 display board. You might have seen these around the department when it comes to the exhibition. Our games and art colleagues do this really well. We're going to present our files in a JPEG format with a maximum width of 609mm, that is portrait, using appropriate colour settings as well, at 300 ppi. We'll come onto that nearer the time. We've got a wonderful technician who can help us with this in the staff room. Again, building on the 2.1 criteria here, we're going to be presenting our work here, using our knowledge of characteristics and context to plan and develop our ideas and presenting this well. Distinction level work here, we'll have a confident selection, well organised communication of ideas. That personal style will start to come through here. Task 6, making the character design. Something you would have been doing all the way throughout really, but here's a time, a 1 to 2 week period where you will be able to create purely. The characters will be judged on creative details, that specificity, the nuance, the subtlety, the storytelling that builds and enriches from the research into your work. Elements of personality and execution of the original concept, so how it measures up to your proposal. How does it build on from or follow on from directly? Your character will embody the setting they come from, their story, and will tell a compelling story which produces an emotional response. It's a real challenge for you. Looking for strong composition, gestures, body language, makeup, hair, costume. Think about all these different elements we can build in through the semiotic understanding we learnt about in year 1. Blocking, how they're positioned. Cinematography, lighting and camera use. These will be crucial components in the project's success. Deliverables. So, here's what we're looking for. Looking for one beauty shot of your character with a pedestal if necessary, at a preferred angle. So, the dimensions here we'll come on to near the time, but they are outlined black and white here for you. We'll talk more about it when it comes to the deadline. A presentation shot of your character from different angles, which can be posed in a minimum of 3 angles. So front, side and back is what we're looking for essentially there. Pose and action shots. Let's get 3 of these as well. 3 action shots that communicates understanding of semiotics and storytelling through the use of the way you've conducted and composited your character. We also want behind the scenes images or video to show your process and iterative, that is, stage by stage, adaptive problem solving. This hits the 2.2 criteria, which is very much about practical skills, knowledge and understanding about using media to create this concept. Practical skills criteria from UAL is here as well. Again, distinction level, practical skills, in-depth understanding and aesthetic awareness, understanding about the aesthetic, the style, the vibe, the feel, the history, the why it looks the way it looks to the audience. Not just you, but to the audience. Imaginative and flexible processes. So if you ever hear me say, wow, that's great, I never would have thought that, that's brilliant. Pretty imaginative, I would argue. Extensive inquiry, be curious, open-minded. Do that and you won't go far wrong in life. As well as this qualification, of course. The last bit, of course, is the evaluation. So throughout the project, we're going to maintain a development log. This will include your thoughts on the progress and targets. I've explored different opportunities to grow for professional development as well as in your vocational directed learning time. It can be written, but can also be in audio or vlog format, up to you entirely. We need a summative evaluation of the project that analyses the effectiveness of your solution as well. And for each of the 7 tasks, looking for you to talk about how it went, how effective it was, why it was important. That's crucial, why it was important. The deliverables are a 600-word evaluation and your project logs, which again can be written, vlog or audio. This hits 3.1 and 3.2 criteria, so quite a chunk. The evaluation criteria, great projects live or die by it. In my 15, 16 years of teaching media, if you show an accomplished and professional communication, deep thought about why you're doing what you're doing, how that informs things, why you might adapt things, analysing, interpreting things, thinking with clarity, objectivity, without ego, taking on feedback, showing maturity in your decision making, then you're gonna be alright. There we go then. Character design. There are 7 parts to it, but it works in quite a linear process, doesn't it, when you go through that video? Of course, Amanda and I are here to help you with this project, which is going to be due in the 25th of November. As ever, if you need any extra help, come to the Learning Hub, where my team, who are media trained, are available to help you using rooms, hardware and software. Okay, good luck everyone.